Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Filipino Adventures. Today, we're going to talk a story of Mr. Tim Wheeler. We're going to tell his story today. Mr. Tim Wheeler, I'll just read the story to you. It's put on 53. Well, when I copied this, it's been an hour ago. But anyway, recently, Tom, I need to tell you my story. I'm an elderly man. I'm 77. And I recently was in the Philippines, Iloilo, for a 2-month visit with my wife's family. I was feeling sick and pains in chest at about 2 a.m. My wife called the ambulance, which there was a local ambulance company, but the guy was sleeping and could not get him up. So we had a neighbor to drive us with our car to the hospital. And the first thing I have to say is I was in so much pain. They asked my wife, "Do you have insurance?" And she said, "Yes, I have AXA, AXA." And they said, "Ma'am, we don't take that anymore. We used to, but we do not accept that." She said, "You have to have other insurance." He's in pain before he gets in the hospital. She says, "Okay, here's the credit card." And so they take the credit card. They actually grabbed the credit card and wrote down the numbers. Anyway, they rush him in to the room and immediately put him on oxygen. And the doctor says, "It seems you're having a stroke. We're not really sure, but we're going to give you the medicine for stroke." And so they gave me the medicine and oxygen, even though I am awake, but the pain kept persisting. The doctor came in and said, "We have no way of scanning the heart and for me to find out what is wrong." Anyway, he goes in and he tells that, a long story short, we went to 3 different hospitals, and each hospital, insurance, all this stuff. After about $6,000, 2 days later, but he's still in pain, but he's functioning. He had to be helped. He couldn't breathe. It was a mess. So, long story short, he said, I had blockage, but the doctor to perform the surgery, was no one available here to perform the Iloilo. So he went to Manila to see if someone could help him, and the surgery center, well, we were gonna. You have insurance, we have AXA. We're no longer accepting AXA at St. Luke's. He said, okay. So I had to fly back to San Francisco immediately. This taught me a lesson. Do not depend on the Philippines for your insurance. The hospitals will tell you they have it, but do they? Or are they just telling you? I got the surgery needed in San Francisco Heart Center and performed fine. It was a blockage in one of my arteries, even though I was still getting blood flow, but I could not do activities. It was hard for me to walk. It was hard for me to maintain on the flight over, but I made it, thank God. I learned a big lesson. I will not live there, and there is no apparent health care. Thank you for listening. Now, that is from Tim. I think it's like anything. Common sense will tell you, you don't get in a car and drive down a road and you have a new car and you don't have insurance. The same thing goes here. You have to have something, whether it's whatever it is. The thing that, anyway, his Medicare and Medicaid took care of the bill there. Yeah, he remember, he just here visit for 2 months, but he has established house and everything else there. He's 70. Did I tell you his age? I'm 77. He is 77 and lives in visit Iloilo. But he went back to he went to San Francisco, had the surgery, but he lives in Idaho, and so he said that he got back home and went to the doctor, and he's under guidance and maintenance through his doctor, existing doctor, and of course they were in phone call with his existing doctor during that time. But he said they took care of me, really took care of me. I flew in. There was someone there to pick me up at the airport, an ambulance. They rushed him to the medical center, and they performed surgery. No paperwork, no anything filled out. Not a worry. Once they got to the hospital, admitted him immediately to the hospital there in San Francisco. They took him in, got his surgery immediately, and he said the thing about it is he learned a big lesson that he's not going to come back here. Even the visit's going to be questionable because of the current situation. So I think the moral of the whole story is to make sure that you have some type. Now that was Mr. Tim. He left me that message this morning. This happened over the holidays, and prayers are with you, Tim. This one comes from Veronica. Veronica is a Filipina with a Filipino husband, but they work in U.S. and come back home to visit in one of the islands here in the Philippines. She said, I recently want to tell you my story. My husband arrived around here at Christmas time, around the 15th of December, and I was feeling sick myself. My husband said, let's take you to the doctor. So they rushed her to the doctor. This particular hospital that where they live on one island has one doctor, and it is a private hospital, and just one doctor. There's one doctor on that particular island. It says, yes, you were apparently having a stroke. That's 2 strokes, huh? So he said he gave her the medication, gave her the oxygen, and said that we need to operate on you, but there's no hospital here. We're going to have to fly you somewhere else. So in fear, she says, where do we go? It was one of the islands off Cebu. So they contact the hospital there in Cebu, St. Luke's, and they talked to the doctor there, and he said, I think I can perform the surgery. Well, when they said I think, it really got her really nervous. So they ended up there, and their insurance, they did not accept their insurance. They had to pay cash, about $9,000 US dollars cash. But she got the surgery, and he repaired the blockage there in Cebu. Reluctantly, I feel fearful, even though I love my country here in the Philippines. I want to say to all, make sure you find where you live a good doctor. And they're back in the States now. They flew back to the States recently as of 12/24. They went back Christmas Eve. So they were planning to stay here, but they went back Christmas Eve. So that's the thing. I just want to do this video. I want to talk about this. I know I ramble on about some of that stuff, but here's just 2 stories of somebody that health care is very important. We still have a problem with my sister-in-law. She's been misdiagnosed now. I said it was one thing, it's another, and she's on her 4th doctor. They can't seem to figure out what's wrong with her. She's dizzy all the time. I said maybe it's blood flow. I don't know. What am I, a doctor? Inner ear is what I said initially. Doctor said, yeah, that's what it is. I'm going to find out it's not that. So I really don't know. The medications can't seem to be helping her. She's standing, but she's not standing for long periods of time. She gets dizzy, can't stand. She has to use the wall. So it is very important that you prepare yourself for something like that. That's one of my fears. I have to tell you, it's a fear that I have myself personally, that I think you should always think about maybe looking at finding another outlet. For an example, don't put all your eggs and sell everything you have there and come here, and then you're here and you realize everything is great and fantastic and everything is fine until you get sick and then find out you can't get the care you need. Now, just because a hospital tells you they have it, even at St. Luke's, they had a problem. This lady said she had a problem getting in St. Luke's because the insurance, they had to pay cash for it, of course. So luckily they're Filipino, and her and her husband, and so she learned a big lesson. She said, I don't want to be like that again. Said, so they'll come here, but they'll stay close to the hospital. And even if you are close to the hospital, doesn't mean that they have the care that you can get, and insurance still coverage. Apparently, some of these insurance companies have been cut by the hospitals because of their paying the bill. You know, I don't know. I think it was COVID. COVID caused most of this problem. I want to thank everybody for always watching. And I want to thank everybody. I just got thinking there's just so many problems with the healthcare here. God bless everybody, and thank you so much.